Well, welcome back to Leesburg, Florida, Pat Thomas Stadium. Game number 2 between NJCU and Ursinus as the Gothic Knights dropped game 1 of this doubleheader today 4-3. I'm Ira Thor, NJCU Sports Information Director, with you live here again. And you know what? Game 1, we were able to get the broadcast on a wireless signal to work with no problem in standard def. Let's try it in high def this time. So hopefully this works out for everyone and we'll give you a little bit better picture as NJCU and Ursinus. Game 2 coming up momentarily. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for both teams in Game 2. NJCU, the road team in Game 1, will be the home team in our second 7-inning game. For the Gothic Knights, Steven Ramos, who batted 9th in the last game, will bat first. The leadoff hitter will hit .375 coming into this game. 2 notable changes to the lineup you will see. Zach Buchholz and Dan Berardi, both who are struggling mightily at the plate, are not in the starting lineup in game number 2. Bill Feehan, who earlier this afternoon was named the NJAC Rookie Hitter of the Week, he's hitting .538, and he will bat second and play left field. Nick Ursino, the center fielder, bats third, hits .333. Mike Ramirez, he was the losing pitcher in the last game, but he had a pinch hit single, and he will be the DH here in game number 2. In the number 5 spot, Lennon Gomez, the first baseman again in this game. He bats 5th with Joe Catino, the senior right fielder, batting 6th. Jeff Reineke had 3 hits in game number 1, and he's in the 7th spot batting and playing second base. CJ Pulsini will catch and bat 8th, and Nick Legata will get his first start of the year. The sophomore shortstop will hit number 9. On the mound today will be Anthony Carfora, making his first start of the 2017 season, the lone right-handed pitcher for the Gothic Knights in their conference starting rotation, and he throws to C.J. Pulsini. The lineup for Ursinus is similar to Game 1 for the most part. Travis Kozak, he steps in right now, and he will be the leadoff hitter playing center field with Dom Fiorentino in right field batting second, Jay Farrell at first base, and the first pitch is hit up the middle for Kozak. So 1 pitch and 1 man aboard. Farrell, the first baseman, bats third. Alex Campbell, the third baseman in the last game, moves behind the dish, and he will be the cleanup hitter. Alex Mummy, who looked like he was injured going around first on his double in the last game, is back in the lineup after pinch hitting in the last contest. He plays left field and bats 5th. Greg Patorik will be the designated hitter, batting 6th. C.J. Diana, the DH in the last game, will be the third baseman, with Kieran Geyer, the second baseman, hitting 8th, and Carter Usowski, the shortstop, batting 9th. So that's ball 1. Don't have anybody doing scoreboard here in Game 2. We had some players from the Bears help us out in Game 1. I'm going to have to clear the scoreboard next chance we get. But first, hit sharply to left field. Retreating is Bill Feehan, and he makes a fantastic over-the-shoulder catch for out number 1. Let's see if we can figure out how to work this scoreboard here. This thing is like a dinosaur here. Oh my. I'll try to figure it out in a second. In the meantime, 1 man out, and the batter, Farrell, fouls this down the right field line. Try to get a little wider angle for everyone. The 0-1 pitch by Carfora As a called strike, it's 0-2. We got an offer for some help. We could use it because it's a little hard to broadcast, do stats, and do the scoreboard at the same time. And Jeff Reineke's dad, Ralph, coming in to help us out. We appreciate that. Check will be in the mail. Ground ball to his son at second base. Could be two. Flip to Legato on the first. Not in time, but a nicely turned 4-6 force. So top of the first, 2 outs now. It'll bring up the catcher, Campbell. Alex Campbell, senior out of Moorestown, New Jersey, and Moorestown High School down in Burlington County. 2 away. No score. Ursinus won game 1 by a score of 4-3. And that's outside. Slow roller. Ramos at third, scooped it up, lost it momentarily, then he double clutches. And Campbell is safe. 2 away. Now runners on first and second. That's an E5 on Ramos. That'll bring up the left fielder, Mummy. He doubled, but he stumbled going between first and second. Took out a big divot in the infield. Be a 1-ball count here. Runners in first and second. The 1-0. That's outside. It's 2-0. Jeff Reineke's father, Ralph, no longer on the scoreboard. Our original Game 1 scoreboard operators, both pitchers for the Ursinus Bears, are back in the booth helping us out. Special thanks to them. Lou Akins, a senior right-hander from Rumson, New Jersey. And Ben Kearns, a left-hander, freshman from Fairfax, Virginia, both helping us out on the scoreboard today from Ursinus. We appreciate their help very much. And we make sure they get their justly deserved shout-out. The 2-0 pitch. That's on the outside corner. And it's 2-1. Ira Thor with you live here. It's 74 degrees, mostly sunny. Little windy, about 17 miles per hour according to my weather app. In a game that started at about 12:40. Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2. Gothic Knights have now lost twice by 1 run on this trip. They're 0-3. Ursinus 3-0. All 3 wins by 1 run. That's pretty notable. That's hit in the air to deep left field. Bill Fiend going back. It's going to be over his head and roll just shy of the track. Farrell scores. Here comes Campbell. He will score. It is a 2-run double by Mummy. His second double in as many at-bats today. And Ursinus has a 2-0 lead. And both of the runs are unearned. The inning extended on the air at third base. Bill Fiend went a long distance to try to get that one, and it was still cleared his head. A lot of space out there on that track. Only 365. But it plays further than that. So neither of the runs are earned. And Patorik will bat for the first time today. Did not play in Game 1. Senior out of Trucksville, PA. 6'3", 210. Big player. A 1-ball count coming. That's high. popped in the air, foul off to our right and out of play. Between games, I had to, as I was setting up the stat file for game number 2, I had to look up the name of the stadium. I said it 5 times in game 1. I couldn't remember it. I think it's the first sign of starting to get old. Either that or a sign of sleep deprivation, both of which are currently in process. Curveball just misses by Carfora. Anthony Carfora, sophomore right-hander, 5'10", from Toms River, New Jersey, Toms River South High School, a business administration major. Broke into the lineup as a starter last year, swing and a miss. Actually came in as a dual pitcher infielder, but he quickly emerged as one of NJCU's top starters, and he'll be relied on heavily this year. All 4 starters, sophomores or older now for the Gothic Knights in the main rotation. That's fouled off again. The defensive alignment for the Gothic Knights in this game: Carfora throwing to CJ Polsini, Lennon Gomez at first, Jeff Reinecke at second, Nick Legato at short, Steven Ramos at third. The outfield is Bill Fian, Nick Rossino, Joe Catino again, your everyday outfield left to right. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Carfora deals, foul back towards us. We all reach up, none of us make the catch. It's over the roof. And it remains 3-2. 2 runs on 2 hits so far. The big 2-run double by Mummy. And that would put wraps so far here in the first inning. Carfora ganders at second base. Deals. Outside corner. Just off the plate. Ball 4. Patoric, a 2-out walk. And there's runners on first and second. CJ Diana, the DH in game 1, he steps in now, playing third base in this contest, and the first pitch from Carfora as ball number 1. Diana from Chester, New Jersey, out of Seton Hall Prep. I grew up in North Jersey, grew up in Fair Lawn in Bergen County, so I know a lot of these schools very well from my prep days many, many years ago. And now live down the shore in Howell, and that's fouled off the handle. So I've gotten to learn a lot of these high schools in both North Jersey and the shore area. To be honest, as much as I loved growing up in Bergen County, I love living down the shore even more. I mean, the beach is 10 minutes away. Today, not a beach day in New Jersey. 25 degrees it was this morning as I was watching on video camera, watching my daughter get on the bus all the way from Florida. Last pitch was on the outside corner, 1-2, so the runners at first and second, relying on Diana to come through here to try to extend this lead in the top of the first. In the dirt, Polsini blocks it. He's going to have to eat that one. Patoric and Mummy both advance on the wild pitch. And that's ball 2. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carfora deals in the dirt. Carfora back-to-back pitches in the dirt there. This time, Polsini's able to keep it in front of him. So the count is full. And line drive, through the left side of the infield. That's a base hit. Mummy scores. Patork will stop at third. It's a 2-out single by C.J. Diana. 3 unearned runs in this inning after the error at third base. And Ursinus has grabbed a quick 3-0 lead. If Ramos had just fielded that ground ball to third cleanly, this inning would likely be over at this point. But now the Gothic Knights find themselves in an early hole, and the second baseman for this Bear club, Kieran Geyer, the senior from Reading, Connecticut, 6'4", 190, he'll step in and try to extend it. Pulsini down to second base, and the tag is in time as Reineke applies the tag to the shoulder of C.J. Diana, who had 3 stolen bases in Game 1, but he's unable to convert here, and a 4th run is stranded at third base with Patork as the Gothic Knights do escape the inning. 3 runs on 3 hits, all unearned on 1 error. The Gothic Knights will come up for the first time in just a moment. Bottom of the first coming up. Here is the lineup for NJCU again. Ramos leading off, Bill Feehan batting second, Nick Racino, the center fielder, hits third, and Mike Ramirez will be the cleanup hitter and the DH. Lennon Gomez at first bats fifth, Joe Coutinho in right hits sixth, with Jeff Reineke and his red-hot bat at second base batting seventh, C.J. Pulsini in the eighth spot, and Nick Legato at short with his first start of the year. Defensive alignment today in game number 2 for Ursinus, and the pitcher will be Mark Ledoux. I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. And he is a sophomore right-hander out of Fairfax, Virginia, George Marshall High School, 6'2", 180. And he will throw today in game 2 to Alex Campbell, who is the third baseman in our opening contest. That is your battery. Meanwhile, Jay Farrell's at first, Kieran Geyer's at second, Carter Usowski's at short, and C.J. Diana, the third baseman in game 2. Alex Mummy is the left fielder. Meanwhile, the center fielder and right fielder are the same. Travis Kozak in straightaway center and Fiorentino in right. Steven Ramos, he had the error that ultimately led to 3 unearned runs. We'll see if he can get on base and contribute to a rally as the Gothic Knights bat here in the bottom of inning number 1. First pitch is ball 1. And that's low as well. So 2-ball count here. Leduc deals. And that's just off the plate. So Ramos ahead 3-0. That's a called strike. As a rookie, he made 9 appearances, no starts, so likely this is the first start of his collegiate career. He had a 6.75 ERA. That pitch gets away from the catcher as Ramos goes down to first base, a 5-pitch walk. He looked behind him to see where that ball ricocheted, to see if perhaps he could maybe get a couple steps towards second base. So that brings up Bill Feehan, the New Jersey Athletic Conference Rookie Player of the Week. Hitting .538 now on the year, the left-handed hitter from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Ground ball up the middle. That is a base hit as he keeps swinging a red-hot bat. And that is why he is your Rookie of the Week in the NJAC. I understand his mom, Judy, is watching today's broadcast, so we say hello to her as well. So runners on first and second. It'll bring up Nick Racino, senior two-time second-team academic All-NJAC selection. Nick's a very good student and obviously a very good baseball player. I think he's sitting on 115 hits now for his career. I'm starting to lose track. It's a good thing I update the website every game with his career stats because it's starting to get difficult to keep track. Had the same issue with Andrew Nish during his 4-year career with the Gothic Knights as he just kept climbing up the hits chart and then eventually graduated as the school's all-time leader in about 5 offensive categories, including, I think, 209 career hits. That's off the plate, so that will prompt the catcher, Alex Campbell, to come out and have a conversation with Leduc. Last year, Leduc had a .280 opposing batting average, and he's wild. Struck out no one in 6.2 innings of work, but he walked 8, and he's already walked 1 here today. And if he wants to have a longevity in today's game, that's something he's going to have to correct. The pitch to Ursinus. Inside. Brushes him back. And the count is now 3-0 with Mike Ramirez. Ramirez not a power hitter, what you're used to in your cleanup hitter, but he makes contact frequently. The 3-0 pitch coming to Nick Ursinus, the senior from Teaneck, is a called strike. It's 3-1. Gothic Knights had the tying run at third base with nobody out. Correction, with 1 out. Told you the memory's going. That's the first thing. In the last game, and they could not punch it across to tie the game. Lost 4-3. In the dirt. I thought that was ball 4, folks. Apparently it's not. And now it's 3-1. And that's fouled away. And it goes off into the parking lot to our right. I thought it was 3-1 there, but that's what the scoreboard says as well. But apparently we were not correct. The 3-2 count coming here from Leduc. And that's ball 4. Good eye by Nick Ursinus as he patiently works out the second walk of the inning. That pushes Fian to second base and Ramos to third. Actually had an interesting comment on the NJCU Facebook page the other day when we talked about Bill Fian's early success. Katie Fian, assistant women's soccer coach for the last decade, who was just inducted in the Athletic Hall of Fame, first women's soccer player inducted in the Hall of Fame back in January, was a big fan to see somebody else with the name Fian doing well athletically at NJCU. Mike Ramirez, the DH, steps in. First pitch is a ball. Bases are loaded with nobody out. The Gothic Knights trail by 3. That's fouled off over the heads of everyone in the bleachers and into the parking lot along our left side. This is a very nice little stadium tucked away here in West Central Florida. Nice pitch by Leduc. That's a called strike. It's 1-2. Got old-fashioned concrete seating off to our left, and then bleacher seating in the grandstand area. That's fouled down the right field line towards the Gothic Knight bullpen. Remains 1-2. I'll try to, during a lull in the action, show to everyone so you get an idea what the stadium is like. This is the nicest press box I've sat in the entire trips thus far. Part of the reason we're able to broadcast today's game with limited issues. Just high there. Good eye by Ramirez laying off a pitch that he did not like. So 2-2. Ursinus at first, Fian at second, Ramos at third. Bottom of the first inning here in Game 2 in Leesburg. That's strike 3 looking. Ramirez knew it. And he hits the bottom of his cleats with the barrel of the bat as he missed on a good pitch there to swing at. So caught looking was Ramirez. That is the first career strikeout for LeDuc, assuming this is his first career start, and he had no strikeouts last year. So Lennon Gomez will step in, the power-hitting first baseman for the Gothic Knights, hitting an even .500 thus far in 3 games in his collegiate career. And Gomez lines it into left center field. That's a base hit. Ramos scores. Here comes Bill Feehan. The throw goes to third. It is a 2-run single by Lennon Gomez, and the Gothic Knights have cut the deficit to 1. It's 3-2. So the rookie from Edison says, hey, if Bill Feehan could be Rookie of the Week, I deserve consideration too, as he now has really had a tremendous 4-game start to his career. So 2 RBIs. Ursino goes to third. Feehan and Ramos score. And there goes Gomez. The throw to short, and he is safe. Gomez steals as the throw by Campbell was to the shortstop side of the bag and didn't give the shortstop Husowski a fair chance there to really tag out Gomez. I think a good throw might have had him. So now the Gothic Knights with Joe Catino in, and a 1-ball count, have a couple of players in scoring position. These teams will play 7. They did so in game 1. Ursinus out of the Centennial Conference. Ground ball foul. Jerry Smith, the NJCU head coach, will field it at third base. Ursinus located in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. They were 16-23 a year ago, with a huge portion of its lineup back. Strike 3 looking. Catino is caught. Second strikeout. LeDuc. And that brings up Jeff Reinecke. He was the batter in the top of the had the game end. He had 3 hits in that first game. And that's a wild pitch. Goes all the way to the backstop. Here comes. The game is tied. 3-3. Lennon Gomez trots down to third base. As LeDuc's wild pitch allows NJCU to even it at 3 apiece. And that takes a little bit of pressure off of Reinecke, as he knows the Gothic Knights will get out of this inning no worse than tied. That's way inside to the left-handed hitter. Rutgers Newark, transferred in last year, has been a nice piece added to this lineup the last couple years. That's called strike, fastball in the outside corner. Reinecke from Middlesex, New Jersey. But you hear the applause from the Gothic Knight fans as NJCU battles back after giving up 3 unearned runs in the first. They score 4 in the bottom of the inning on 3 hits. They strand 1. It's 4-3 after 1. Game 2, NJCU, Ursinus here in Leesburg. And as I promised, I'm going to give you a glimpse of what this stadium is like, as obviously we only have a 1-camera setup today and we don't have a camera person. So let me unlock the pan so we could move around a little bit. You can see down the left field line some old style seating. This is a county or a high school stadium. We're not exactly sure. It's honestly a nice little park tucked away here in Florida. So you see the almost like concrete step seating off to our left. Number of fans from Ursinus sitting over there. Bears in the third base dugout today. And we have bleachers seating in the grandstand area. Here you see James Hart's father. And down the right field line, number of fans sitting in the picnic area. That is Lake Harris back there in the distance. And as we understand, there's going to be a big bass fishing tournament. That's coming up this week. There are going to be a number of boats in there as the day goes on a nice day here in Florida. Gearing up for that tournament. Wouldn't mind competing myself. I've had a boating license for years, and I've never been able to convince my wife to plunk the money down to buy a boat. Rent one once in a while. But I stink at fishing. I just throw it in. Fish avoid me, they go somewhere else. Almost like my dating life when I was a youngster. Top of the second inning, and it'll be the second baseman, the number 8 hitter, Kieran Geyer, stepping in. And first pitch is ball 1. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Bears. That's outside. Tomorrow, NJCU, 10:30 a.m., they will take on Gwynedd Mercy. It'll be at Henley Field Ballpark in Lakeland, Florida. I think that's where the Detroit Tigers make their spring training home. That's fouled away, so it's 2-1. Kieran had 2 RBIs, 1 for 1 in our opening game. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Carfora deals, and that's chopped foul. Nicely fielded by the Ursinus coach. That's in the air to right field. Coutinho, ranging towards the line, reaches out and makes the catch. That's out number 1. So 1 away, it'll bring up the shortstop, Carter Usowski, who was 2 for 3 in game number 1. The only player in the Bears lineup that had multiple hits. They only had 4, but they made them count and they won 4-3. Usowski, a sophomore from Buckingham, Pennsylvania, Central Bucks East High School. And that's hitting the air to right field. This time Carfora on the run towards the line. Going to be over his head in foul territory. It's just a long strike. Looked like for a second it might get tucked in along that 325 part of the line. No balls, 1 strike. Carfora deals. And a fantastic location there by the sophomore from Toms River. Carfora deals. And that's line. Left center field on the run, both Ursino and Fee, and it's going to be over their heads and against the track. Relay throw made by Ursino. It's a double with 1 out for Usowski. The tying run at second base. As the second double of the game for the Bears. They have 4 hits, 2 of them for extra base hits. Top of the order, it'll be the center fielder Travis Kozak, who singled in the first inning. Kozak walked but he was 0 for 3 in game number 1. Carrefour back to second base, and diving in is Usowski. Kozak, 5'7", 155 from Farmington, Connecticut. And as I said in game 1, a very peaceful sounding high school, Avon Old Farm School. Ground ball to second. Reineke looks momentarily at third, flips on to Gomez for out number 2. So a 4-3 ground out pushes Usowski to third. And I'll bring up the right fielder, Dom Fiorentino. Another Southern Jersey Shore native out of Ocean View, New Jersey. Also went to Ocean City High School. Swings and misses at the first offering. Left-handed hitter is 5'10", 185, a freshman. Now, 5-6 years ago, the Gothic Knights had a player by that last name in the roster, Mike Fiorentino, and that's hit in the air. Right field, Catino on the run, reaches out, makes the catch to end the inning. So a line out to deep right field. Usowski stranded at third. And after the one-out double, no runs, one hit, one left on base, we head to the bottom of the second inning, game 2 here in Leesburg, Florida. Bottom of the second inning will be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters after the Gothic Knights sent 8 men to the plate when they went ahead 4-3 in the bottom of the first. It'll be Nick Legato, Steven Ramos, and NJAC Rookie of the Week, Bill Fiend. First pitch to Legato is a called strike, as is pitch 2 on the outside corner. Legato normally number 23. Normally number 7. He wears number 23 today. And that is ball 1. Legato was a Rookie of the Week once last year as a freshman. 5'11", 170-pounder, went to Spotswood High School. And he resides in Helmetta, New Jersey. It's like a little subsection of Spotswood. And he's an undeclared major. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to short, diving and knocking it down was Diana, but the shortstop Usowski there for the rebound will not have a play on it. It's an infield single for Nick Legato, hit number 4 for NJCU. So one on, and that will bring up Steven Ramos, who walked and later scored the first run. Hitting .375, popped in the air, right field. Going back is Fiorentino. The wind carrying a little bit, but he stays with it and makes the catch. So one away, it'll bring up Bill Fiend, hitting .571. He had a single and a run scored in the first. And I mentioned Fiorentino for Ursinus, Dom Fiorentino. NJCU had a player named Mike Fiorentino, who was among their all-time hit leaders about 5-6 years ago, also out of Point Pleasant Borough, New Jersey. Point Pleasant Borough High School, Point Pleasant, New Jersey. As Fian hits in the air, right center field. Coming over is the center fielder, and Kozak calls off Fiorentino and makes the catch for out number 2. So Fian, hopefully, for the Gothic Knights, the second extremely talented player from Point Pleasant in the last 5-6 years. The other Fiorentino, Mike Fiorentino, played 3 years for NJCU after transferring in. Bill Fian, a true freshman, and I would have to think he and perhaps even Lennon Gomez and Steve Ramos for the Gothic Knights, all 3 will be potential rookies of the week every week this year, and who knows, could be rookie of the year candidates depending on how this year plays out. Nick Ursino steps in. The first pitch way inside, brushes him back. Ursino walked and later scored in the first. Ira Thor with you live here on Gothic Vision. Bottom of the second inning here in Leesburg, Florida. There goes Legato. The throw hits the runner. It might have actually hit the dirt and then caught Legato on the left arm. He slides in with the stolen base. It caroms in the shallow left field, but Legato cannot advance. That was ball 2, by the way. So Ursino, with a runner now in scoring position with 2 outs, will try to push Legato in. Called strike. That is outside, ball 3. NJCU softball against Mountain Mary wins 11-2 in 6 innings, a walk-off grand slam for Naomi Alacio. They are 3-1 on the year. And that's high for ball 4. So Ursino draws the walk. That is the 3rd walk issued by LeDuc. And it'll bring up Mike Ramirez, the DH, with 2 outs. And that'll be it for LeDuc, as Ursinus will make a pitching change. We'll be back to tell you about it in just a moment. Now we're back here, and the pitching change is complete. It'll be number 22, Matt Rapp. He's a sophomore right-hander, 6'2", 190, out of Ridgefield, Connecticut. The designated hitter, Mike Ramirez, steps in. Nick Rossino at first, and another Nick Legato at second. And time is granted by the home plate umpire, Daniel Papendick, before the pitch. And that's low. We will try to bring you as many games this year for both NJCU baseball and softball right here on Gothic Vision. Always depends on how the wireless signal cooperates on any given day. Today it's behaving very nicely. We're even able to stream in high def. Except the camera just pointed up at the ceiling. Oh boy, didn't even realize that. Sorry folks, gotta lock that thing down. And Mike Ramirez hits it in the air to right center field, and it's caught by Kozak, and that will end the inning, which hopefully you saw most of. Camera had a mind of its own, started drifting up a little bit. You got a good view of the light. Gothic Knights leave 2 runners on. They head to the third, leading 4-3. Top of the third inning here in Leesburg, Florida. The Gothic Knights in Game 2 leading 4-3. We say hello to Ryan Barrett from Rowan University watching today's game. Probably doing a little scouting. It'll be Farrell, Campbell, and Mummy, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up. Farrell reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. Swing and a foul tip. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Farrell had 1 RBI in the first game. Swings and misses at that one. Pulsini will have to throw down the first as Gomez steps on the bag to complete the KS 2-3. So one away, it'll bring up the catcher, Alex Campbell. Campbell 0 for 3 and stranded 3 runners on base in Game 1. So the pitch to Campbell, that's a line drive to center field. That's a base hit. His first hit of the day, the 5th hit today in Game 2 for the Bears. And they have a runner on with 1 away. That'll bring up the left fielder, Mummy. Mummy today has 2 at-bats, 1 in each game. 2 doubles, and he had a 2-run double. That came in the first inning. Tying run on base for Ursinus. Beautiful day here in Central Florida. The first couple days was really chilly out. That's in the dirt. Campbell takes off to second base and will reach on the wild pitch. Called strike. Runner at second base. Representing the tying run. One ball, one strike. Nice pitch by Carfora, strike 2. Anthony Carfora, one of 4 players on this roster who work in my office in the offseason. As Mummy steps out, Anthony Carfora, Corey Nace, Zach Buckholtz, and Kyle Kafer. All vital parts of my game day staff. He 1-2. Swing! And a miss. Strikeout by Carfora as Mummy is sent back. I was trying to come up with some kind of ancient Egypt description there, but my historical references very lacking today. So 2 away, and that will bring up the designated hitter Patoric. Runner at second base still representing the tying run, and Carfora steps off. Carfora deals. That's called strike. Anthony's parents, Susan and Tony, I don't believe they're on the trip. And if they're not, I could be watching at home in Toms River. Carfora throws back to second base to check on Campbell as Reineke applies the tag. The 1 ball, 1 strike. Carfora, a business major. One of 5 players from Toms River on this roster. Known for baseball is what Toms River, New Jersey is. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. So big pitch coming up here for Anthony Carfora. He deals just high on the curve. And the count even at 2 apiece. Swing and a foul tip. Pulsini holds on to it, strike 3, and the inning comes to a close. So Anthony Carfora is able to seal the runner at second base and prevent the Bears from tying this game as he strikes out 3 in the inning with a single by Campbell sandwiched in between the first and second strikeouts. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on base. Anthony Carfora so far has allowed 3 unearned runs. He has struck out 3, walked 1 in 3 innings. Good start so far for him. Gothic Knights will look to add to the lead when we head to the bottom of the 3rd in just a moment. Bottom of the third inning, and it'll be Lennon Gomez, Joe Catino, and Jeff Reineke, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up. And the first pitch at Gomez is high. Gomez had a big 2-run single in the first inning as the Gothic Knights were able to tie the game as he hit that to left center. 2-ball count here by Rapp. Matt Rapp made 3 appearances as a freshman last year. And that's fouled away by Gomez. Limited action for him, 2.2 innings. Gave up 9 hits, 5 earned runs, struck out 2, walked no one. But a 16.88 ERA because of such a small sample size. That's high. And Gomez has to duck down to safety. And that is ball 4 as Gomez works out the walk. That is the 4th walk so far today in Game 2 by Ursinus pitching. It'll bring up Joe Catino, who he struck out looking in the first inning. Widening out the shot a little bit now with Lennon Gomez at first. And I'm now standing up and actually moving the camera around a little bit while also scoring the game because my legs are tired. Hashtag old people problems. Gomez had a stolen base and his first time on. Very, very strong kid. And we expect to see Gomez hit a bunch of home runs in his career. That's fouled back right towards us. Nobody flinches. It's a beautiful thing. A lot of very experienced baseball fans in attendance. It's always interesting when you see that person that was looking at their cell phone and all of a sudden a ball comes at them and there's a screen in the way, but they flinch anyway. And that's Lowe. The press box at the Thomas M. Garrity Athletic Complex, NJCU's home field, is directly behind home plate with a backstop, as that's on the outside corner. Backstop between the press box and obviously home plate. And you see it all the time, a foul ball right off of the screen that nips the roof of the press box. And anybody in the box for the first time completely freaked out. Not only do they flinch, first time that happens, you typically will see them jump. Just got to get used to it. 3-2. Joe Catino looking to get on. And he lines it just foul. Swing and a miss. Catino goes down on strikes again. So he has strikeout looking the first time, a strikeout swinging here. One away, it'll bring up Jeff Reineke, who had a single to put NJCU in front, 4-3. He has 4 hits in today's doubleheader. And I have like 50 pictures of Jeff Reineke in our photo database. Pretty good chance I'll be using one of them in today's post-game write-up. Check swing, ground ball to short. Usowski will go to short way for 1 to retire Gomez. It wasn't hit hard enough for a double play. So now 2 away. So a fielder's choice to shortstop. Gomez retired 6-4. And it'll bring up C.J. Polsini, who grounded out too short, and that ended the first inning. Polsini, ground ball, knocked down, and the throw in time by the third baseman, C.J. Diana, and NJCU strands a runner on here in the bottom of the third. So a 5-3 ground out for Polsini. No runs, no hits, one left on. We've played 3 in game 2 here in Leesburg, Florida. New Jersey City leading your Ursinus 4-3. Back here in the top of the 4th inning, and now that I've shoved a hash brown down my throat, first pitch was fouled away down the left side by the third baseman, C.J. Diana. And then he offers that one. So it's 0-2. Started getting hungry, and then I realized I had a Wawa hash brown sitting here. It's a little cold by now, but it was staring at me, so I had to take care of that. 0-2. That's outside. And that's probably the biggest discovery in this entire trip. I hadn't been to this part of Florida with the baseball team in 4 years. There's Wawas in Central Florida now. It is a beautiful thing. That's in the dirt after Diana swings and misses, so Polsini will throw down to complete the 2-3 putout. And not everybody listening or watching today's game may know what a Wawa is, but if you are aware, which I would imagine most Jersey folks are, it is the world's greatest convenience store. No, they're not sponsoring today's broadcast. It is just that fine an establishment. So when the coaches discovered that there was a Wawa on the way leaving the resort that we're staying at, you could bet that we've been stopping at that place at least once a day. The 0-1 pitch popped in the air to right field. Joe Coutinho settling underneath it, and he reaches up and makes the catch. Out number 2. So 2 away, it'll bring up the shortstop and the number 9 hitter, Carter Uselski. 6', 195, Usowski today. And this contest doubled, but he was stranded. And stranded at third base. That came in the second inning, and he takes ball one. Two balls and no strikes. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. The 2-2 pitch by Ford, trying to get out of the inning, and that's fouled away to our right. Ford's thrown 65 pitches only through 4 innings, so he's on a nice little pace. Mike Ramirez went the distance, but took the loss 4-3 in game 1. And that's in the air to left field. Fian is going to have to chase that one down, hit down the left field line. Usowski rounds first, on his way to second, where he stands with his second double of the day with 2 outs. So he's the tying run, his second double, and that will bring up the center fielder, the top of the order. And Travis Kozak, he's 1 for 2 today with a single. Ground ball up the middle. Reineke is there. The throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. So Carfora gets the job done yet again. Kozak hit it well, but Reineke was there, and a 4-3 ground out ends the top of the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on. We head to the bottom of the 4th in Leesburg, Florida. Pat Thomas Stadium, the Gothic Knights leading the Bears 4-3. Now we're back here for the bottom of the 4th inning as the Gothic Knights trying to build upon a 1-run lead. And it'll be Nick Legato, Steven Ramos, Bill Fian, the 9-1-2 hitters due up. And that's a strike in the outside corner to the right-handed hitting Legato. That evens the count at 1 ball apiece. Or 1-1, I should say. Falling asleep on the job. That's a called strike. Legato with a single in his first at-bat. That came in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 1 on the season. If he stops right now, he'll set a single-season school record. That's fouled away. That's obviously a joke because you have to have a certain number of at-bats to qualify for the single-season batting average record. That's fouled off to the third base side. Jerry Smith, Gothic Knight head coach, made a play on it. Strike 3 looking on the outside corner. He's rung up there by the home plate umpire, Daniel Papendick. So Legato out looking. It'll be the top of the order for Steven Ramos, the third baseman. That's a called strike. That's in the dirt. And it's high. Pops straight up third base side, coming in and dropping it is the third baseman. Steven Ramos gets on as CJ Diana cannot handle it. And that's an unfortunate error on Diana. He had to go a long way, but he had that in his glove. So, Gothic Knights had an error on their third baseman earlier in the game. First error in game 2 by the Bears. Hot corner. A little bit of an issue so far today. Bill Feehan steps in, the NJAC Rookie of the Week. Takes ball 1 and then swings and misses at that one. Feehan is expected to be a very special player for this program. Swing and a miss. Reminds me a little bit of Andrew Nish, who just graduated last year. Doesn't have the power, I believe, that Nish had. Nish with over 50 career doubles, the all-time record holder. But just his ability to make contact consistently. And that's floated over the head of the third baseman. The shortstop, Usowski, comes over and on the lip of the outfield grass makes the catch behind third base. So a pop out to the shortstop. And with 2 away, it'll bring up Nick Ursino, who's walked twice and scored once. Swing and a miss by Ursino. That's low. 1-1. New Jersey City leading Ursinus 4-3 as they bat here in the bottom of the 4th. 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 error for the Knights. Ursino in the air, straightaway center field, and an easy play. Travis Kozak to end the frame. So Ursino flies out to center. Ramos, who reached on the air, is stranded at first. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 on. We head to the 5th inning. NJCU leading Ursinus in game 2, 4-3, which is how game 1 ended by the same score. Fiorentino steps in here for Ursinus in the top of the fifth, game 2, and leading 4-3. The Bears won game 1, 4-3. NJCU had the tying run at third base with one out, could not bring them in. That's a strike by Key there, out number 1. Now bring up the first baseman, Farrell. Farrell, so far today, reached on a fielder's choice and later scored. He also struck out swinging. Line drive up the middle. That's a base hit. Hit number 7 for the Bears, and they have a one-out runner. So 1 out, 1 on, and it'll bring up the catcher, Campbell. He singled in his last at bat. He also reached on an error and scored. And he hits that one in the air down the left field line. Fee giving chase, foul territory, but it's going to be in the bullpen. That is a called strike. And the count is 0-2. For the first time on this entire trip, I have my sweatshirt off. I was debating whether even to pack a jacket or sweatshirt for Florida. Only wore it because it was cold on the flight. And ultimately, I would not have survived without it. Of course, next week it'll be in the 80s every day down here, but I'm not jealous whatsoever. Farrell with a lean the wrong direction at first. Carfora threw over, and Gomez applied the tag, but Farrell back in safely. He represents a tying run here in the top of the fifth. That's high. Tomorrow, Ursinus will play a doubleheader against Penn State Altoona in Auburndale, Florida. The Bears have won 3 one-run games. They're involved in yet another one-run game right now. NJCU's 0-3. They've lost 2 one-run games. That's off the plate, 2-2. Inside, chin high. And the count is 3-2. Three and two. Carfora deals. Popped in the air. Straightaway center field. Wind's carrying a little bit back towards the infield, so Ursinus had to adjust for a second, but he makes the catch. And that's out number 2. So with 2 away, it'll bring up the left fielder, Mummy. He's got a 2-run double, and he's also struck out swinging. Had himself a nice afternoon. 2 for 3, 2 extra base hits. We say hello to Chris Mitchell watching today's game at Washington University in St. Louis as a called strike. Carfora throws over to first. Back in safely is Farrell. 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for NJCU, 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for Ursinus. All the offense came in the first inning. 3 in the top of the first, 4 in the bottom of the first. Carfora deals, curve, outside corner, and he's ahead 0-2. Throw down to second, and sliding in safely with the stolen base is Farrell. They're saying he's out. So the Gothic Knights get out of the inning. A little indecision there at the end, but Mummy and Farrell unable to get the tying run across, and we head to the bottom of the 5th. NJCU trying to build upon a 4-3 lead. Back here for the bottom of the 5th, officially, it was a check swing strikeout by Mummy. His second strikeout, that's the 5th so far today by Anthony Carfora, who's had himself a very quality start thus far. Mike Ramirez, who's the losing pitcher in Game 1, the DH here in Game 2, and he's behind 0-1. Nearly hit him in the feet there. It'll be Ramirez, Gomez, Catino, middle of the order, 4, 5, 6. And again in the dirt. And Ramirez towards left center field. And making the catch is Mummy. So that'll bring up the first baseman, Lennon Gomez. 2-run single in the first, a walk in the third. And for the number 5 hitter in the Gothic Knight lineup, freshman looks at ball 1. Called strike. No, they're saying it's low. That's why I'm not an umpire. Makes it 2-0. Rapp now behind 3-0 as Gomez looks to get on base for the third consecutive time in this game. That's a called strike. Gomez had 1 RBI. He also walked once. 0 for 2. That was in game 1. Popped in the air. Foul. Campbell's going to give it a look, but it's over his head and out of play. Lennon Gomez out of Edison, New Jersey. And that's ball 4. So he draws his second walk in as many plate appearances, his third walk in 2 games today. And with 1 out, it'll bring up Joe Coutinho. Coutinho 0 for 2 in today's second game. 2 strikeouts, once looking, once swinging. Coutinho was 1 for 3 with a walk in the first game today. That's called strike. Throw back to first. Gomez dives in safely. With nobody on the left side of the infield, we'll try to show you this side. Rapp, he deals off the plate. Throw back to first, and Gomez on one knee, he's there. And Coutinho will foul this one down the right field line. It's going to go into the bullpen. The Gothic Knights have a little action going. Joe Stone is warming up. And that's lined again into the bullpen. And reaching up, not able to make the catch. Now it does on one hop. I think that's Joe Stone down there. So we'll do it again. The 1-2. There goes Gomez. He throw to short because the shortstop, Usowski, was not at the bag yet. So Gomez, even if he had a perfect throw to the catcher Campbell, it was offline. Usowski had not gotten over to cover in time. I don't think they thought Gomez was going to run there. And it's his second steal of the day. And that's ball 2. And Coutinho another foul ball. His third foul in 4 pitches here remains 1-2. I'm sorry, 2-2. And Coutinho strikes out swinging, his third strikeout in this game. So that's 2 away, and it'll bring up Jeff Reineke. Reineke's got 4 hits in this doubleheader. Left-hander from Middlesex. In the dirt. Campbell blocking it very well there, preventing it from going to the backstop. Just high by Rapp. 2-0. Down the left field line. Giving chase, foul territory, reaching up, making the catch is Usowski, and the inning comes to a close. So Reineke fouls out to the shortstop down the left field line, and the Gotham Knights leave Gomez at second base. No runs, no hits, one left. We have played 5 of 7 here in Game 2, and Leesburg, Florida, New Jersey City leading Ursinus 4-3. Back here for the top of the 6th inning, as NJCU leading Ursinus 4-3. Joe Stone and Tyler Folger both warming up in the bullpen, but Anthony Carrefour's got this game in control right now. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's not allowed an earned run, just 7 hits. And other than the 2 doubles by Mummy, one in this game, not a lot of extra base hits overall. I said Mummy, I should say Usowski. Mummy actually has a double as well, so there's 3 doubles in this game, but those are the only 2 guys who've really gotten to the Gotham Knight pitching. And as I say that, of course, Patoric on the 1-1 pitch deposits a single to left center. So a single to left center, it'll bring up the third baseman, C.J. Diana. The Chester, New Jersey native, Seton Hall prep. Torek on with nobody out, representing the tying run. And JCU's left 6 on base. The Bears have left 5. No double plays in this game. Catholic Knights would love to have one right now. Dropping down a bunt, Carfora will flip just in time. He bounced it to Gomez covering the bag. Could have been another error on a sacrifice bunt. NJCU's had 2 already on this trip from their pitching staff. Instead, it's a sacrifice, and Patoric trots down to second. So 1 away, it'll bring up the second baseman, Geyer. He's flown out to right twice in this game. Geyer 2 RBIs in game 1 when he was 1 for 1. Called strike. In the dirt, Pulsini blocks it. And the count is even at 1-1. Throw back to first. And Torek dives in safely. Still 1-1 here. Torek representing the tying run. And time granted here. He won one. Just missing was Carfora. Ground ball up the middle, diving is Legato. Can't get there. Here comes the throw from Ursino. It is not in time as it bounces in front of the plate. And on the throw, Geyer goes to second. Ursinus ties the game 4-4. You see the excitement from Patoric as he slams his helmet in the dirt. And the Bears have come back. They knotted the game at 4-4. So an RBI single up the middle by Geyer. And Geyer on the throw goes into scoring position. So we're now back to an even game, 4 runs apiece. And Usowski, who's got 2 doubles so far today, will step in. Ground ball through the left side. That's a base hit. Geyer, he's around third. He's going to get the brakes put on there. Good throw by Bill Thiem will keep him there. But with 1 out, runners on the corners, and Ursinus trying to take the lead. Nick Legato comes over. Couple words of encouragement to Anthony Carfora, but here comes Nick Cesare, the Gothic Knight pitching coach, to talk things over. Carfora had thrown so well leading up to this inning. So back to game action here. It'll be the center fielder Kozak, who's 1 for 3 today with a single and 2 groundouts. The second stepping in. The go-ahead run 90 feet away. And that's the second baseman, Kieran Geyer. The 1-0 pitch coming from Carfora, swing and a miss. It's 1-1. The 1-1, dropping down a bunt, and that's going to score the go-ahead run. Gomez applies the tag, but a squeeze bunt and executed perfectly there by Kozak and the Bears. Back in front 5-4. Sowski went down to second on that, and Geyer's scoring makes it 5-4, and it brings up the right fielder Fiorentino, who's 0 for 3. A line out to left, a line out to right, and a 4-3 ground out. So 2 runs here, first offense for either team since the first inning. And in the top of the 6th, Ursinus now leads 5-4. And that is the last out of the inning as Fiorentino on the first pitch he sees scorches the liner right at Jeff Reinecke, who makes the catch on the right side to end the inning. So for the Bears, 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave 1. They take the lead. And it is 5-4 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Game 2 here in Leesburg, Florida. Back here for the bottom of the 6th inning, new pitcher is Connor McCarthy. He had the save in game number 1. East Brunswick, New Jersey native, 6'3", 210. And C.J. Polsini steps in after ball 1. Pops his one in the air, foul. Coming over and making a diving catch was the first baseman. And what a great play by Farrell. So Nick Legato will step in here. That's a called strike, strike one. One ball, one strike. NJCU has not scored since they put up 4 to go ahead in the bottom of the first inning. 3 runs in the first, 2 runs in the 6th, and the Bears now lead 5-4. And the dirt goes all the way to the backstop. And that's fouled off to our right. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Legato with a hit and a strikeout today, and the count now full. McCarthy from East Brunswick, New Jersey. Likely played high school baseball against a number of the players on the Gothic Knight roster. And that's fouled off again, this time to our right. We did have a change as C.J. Diana, as that is hit in the air to right field, and that's caught for out number 2. C.J. Diana slid from third base to second base. And now number 6, Mike Stanzial, is at third base. So Ramos will step in, the third baseman for the Gothic Knights. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He also reached on an error. That's a called strike. So the 0-2 pitch here to Ramos. That's low. Stanzial, the third baseman, is from North Haledon, New Jersey. Ground ball to Diana, now at second base. Loses it. If Ramos hustles, he has a chance. But Diana recovers and is able to throw out the Gothic Knight freshman third baseman to end the inning. And the Gothic Knights go down 1-2-3 in the 6th. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. We head to the 7th and final inning, unless this goes extras, here in Leesburg, Florida, game 2 of a doubleheader. Gothic Knights down 1. Back here, Pat Thomas Stadium, Leesburg, Florida. Ira Thor with you on Gothic Vision. We take you to the 7th inning. Ursinus leading 5-4. Carrefour back out there for a 7th inning work. Bounces ball 1. Julian Morera, the Miami, Florida native, has been named the Skyline Conference Rookie of the Week for the 2nd week in a row in men's volleyball for the Gothic Knights. Actually, he was Player of the Week last week, so this week he's Rookie. He's now picked up each award. And Nick Cesare will come out to have a conversation with Carrefour, Gothic Knight pitching coach. We say hello to Alicia Umanzor from the women's soccer team watching today's game. Carrefour's thrown 95 pitches, 63 strikes, and he really is NJCU's best option. No action up in the bullpen right now. Joe Stone and Tyler Folger were long tossing, stretching out, but I don't know if either are prepared to go into the game. And now we see Matt Jacobson as that ball's fouled away. Matt Jacobson going down the first base line, the bullpen catcher in this game for the Gothic Knights. So now some action for sure in the bullpen. And that's a ground ball to Legato at short. And he throws on the first for out number 1. So 1 away, and I'll bring up the catcher Campbell, the cleanup hitter. 1 for 3 in this game. He's also reached on an error and scored. All 3 runs in the first inning were unearned. There was a defensive change when the inning started. Stephen Ramos is out, and Taylor Bourne now playing third base for the Gothic Knights. And that's ground ball over to Bourne. His throw to first is in time. So we immediately mentioned Taylor, and he immediately gets the ball hit his way. So 2 away, and it'll bring up the left fielder Mummy. Actually, looks like we have a pinch hitter here. Austin Curry comes in. And that's a called strike. Check swing down the first. And he did not go around. In the dirt. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And they hit him on the left shoulder. So after a 2-strike count, 3 straight balls, including a hit batter, and Curry, the pinch hitter, is on base. Be a pinch hitter here. It'll be number 48, Tom Carey, a 6'3" senior from Havertown, PA.
Carey last year hit .273 and 11 at bats. 2 RBIs. So 1 strike count here by Carrefour, trying to get out of this inning. Down by just 1, and a pickoff at first. And they caught Curry off the bag, and he's picked off 1-3 to end the inning, and Carey left at the plate. So a 1-3 pickoff of Curry, and the 7th inning comes to a close. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Last chance for the Gothic Knights, trailing 5-4. So last chance for NJCU, trying to prevent yet another 1-run loss. Ursinus looking for their 4th straight 1-run win. 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Bears, 4-4-1 for the Gothic Knights. Trying to prevent falling to 0-4 on this 6-game spring trip. They've been in every game, just haven't got the breaks. They have a healthy lineup coming up right now in the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Bill Feehan, Nick Racino, and Mike Ramirez. Feehan hitting an even .500 on the year, the NJAC Rookie of the Week. And a curve is a strike. That's a nasty pitch. That's a called strike as well. McCarthy had the save in game 1, looking for a second. In the 0-2, line drive up the middle. Bill Feehan with a leadoff single. Patient hitting pays off. And Feehan, now with multiple hits in every game of his career so far. And Nick Racino steps in. Racino, 2 walks, 1 run scored. He's flied out to center. I don't know how Bill Feehan's speed is right now, having him being a new player, freshman. So I don't know if they would send him, especially with some good hitters coming up. Ursino has 114 career hits. Throw back to first, and Feehan is in safely. See if we can get both in the shot here. And Racino swings and misses. And the count is 0-2. The 0-2. Way outside, wild pitch, and Feehan will advance to second base. Actually, I think it's a pinch runner for the Gothic Knights. I didn't see him come in, but it looks like number 31 for NJCU has checked into the game. And the pinch runner is James Hart. So Hart getting his first playing time as a Gothic Knight. And Hart advances to second base, representing the tying run. Ursino can drive him in and tie the game up. And he might do just that. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Here comes Hart. He's going to be held up, a strong throw. Ursino, however, on the throw from center field, advances to second. He represents the winning run. So a single up the middle, advances on the throw. Hart to third. Nobody out. And Mike Ramirez due up. Can the Gothic Knights rally to win? They've been oh so close on this trip and have had a bunch of bad luck. Playing some pretty good teams in the process. Ramirez. A single could win the game. That's a called strike. Chopped foul. Lennon Gomez, Joe Catino, the next two in the order. That's outside. One and two, nobody out. Bottom of the seventh in a 7-inning game. Chopped foul to our right. And Ramirez stays alive. McCarthy got the save in game one. He's in a whole heck of trouble right here in game two. One ball, two strikes. The pitch to Ramirez. And that's fouled off to our left and out of play. So Ramirez in a battle now with McCarthy. In the air, down the left field line. Likely foul territory, and it does land foul. Yet another foul ball by Ramirez. Third foul in a row. James Hart, the pinch runner, after Bill Fien led off with a base hit. Nick Ursino singled and then took second on the throw. He's at second. A 1-2 pitch by Mike, coming to Mike Ramirez. And that's high. Inside, Campbell keeping it in front of him. If that went to the backstop, this game is tied. Three and two. Gomez on deck. Ground ball to first. Gets by the first baseman. Gets by Buckner. Hart crosses the plate, and the Gothic Knights have tied the game on the error at first base. He likely would have scored anyway, but Farrell took his eye off the ball. Ursino goes to third, and the Gothic Knights have knotted the game at 5-5. So an E3 fielding error. We're not going to give an RBI there because a clean play. Farrell may have checked the runner at third. Ursino advances to third on the error. Hart scores. For the moment, it's unearned. But we are knotted at 5 apiece. And the Gothic Knights, runners on the corners, but there's only one runner that matters, and that's Nick Ursino, standing 90 feet away. And Lennon Gomez is having himself a day. A 2-run single in the first. He's walked in his last 2 plate appearances, and they're going to walk him intentionally. And that's the good decision. If I were the coaching staff, head coach Stan Exeter in his 5th season for the Bears playing the odds. Coutinho has struck out 3 times today, so this is the right call. And then, of course, if you're McCarthy, you have one job to do, and that's throw strikes, because a walk or a wild pitch would end this game. So the bases are loaded. Gomez intentionally walks. Ramirez now at second. He reached on an error at first on Farrell. As a Met fan, I couldn't help but say, gets by Buckner. That's kind of ingrained in my life, sports-wise. And Ursino, the tying run at third base. There you see him with head coach Jerry Smith. The attention now to Joe Coutinho. Gothic Knight senior right fielder hitting .364 early this year. He has a chance to win this game. First pitch outside to the right-handed hitting senior. The 2-sport athlete also plays men's golf. Coutinho featured on the schedule poster this year along with Nick Ursino. That's a called strike. There is nobody out, of course, so any ground ball, the throw will be to the plate. There's no chance for a double play to end this game, or end the inning, I should say. We're tied at 5. Off the plate, ball 2. Pressure's on McCarthy now. It's not on Coutinho. Tough spot for a pitcher to be in. The 2-1. Ground foul back towards us. And Bill Feehan, who's not used to being on the sideline, nearly caught that off the screen. So 2-2. We're tied at 5. Bottom of the 7th in a 7-inning game. Game 2 of a doubleheader. Just off the plate, and here comes the payoff pitch. A ball, and the game is over, and the Gothic Knights would rally in the 7th to win. They've at least tied it. Losing 4-3 in game 1. You can hear the crowd cheering. The Gothic Knight dugout on their feet. Outside, ball 4. Joe Coutinho walks. James Hart scores, and the Gothic Knights, 2 in the bottom of the 7th, have rallied to win their first game of the year, and they knock off Ursinus 6-5. NJCU led 4-3. It was that score for a majority of the game until Ursinus put up 2 in the top of the 6th. But NJCU rallies with 2 here in the bottom of the 7th, and they win today's game by a score of 6-5. Take a 30-second break here, and we'll be right back to wrap up today's victory. NJCU beats Ursinus 6-5.
We're back here in Leesburg, Florida, where the Gothic Knights with a walk-off walk to win today by a score of 6-5. Their first win of the year. Ursinus, their first loss. The Gothic Knights 1-3 on the year. Their one-run victory after 2 one-run losses this year. Taking a look at the final line, Anthony Carrefour is the winning pitcher today for NJCU. 7 innings, he allowed 2 earned runs, 5 runs total, 10 hits, struck out 5, walked 1 over 105 pitches. Losing pitcher in relief is McCarthy. He had to save in game 1. Allowed these 2 runs here, 1 earned in the 7th inning, 2 hits. He walked 2. 1 was intentional. Statistically for the Gothic Knights, Bill Feehan, 2 more hits, the NJAC Rookie of the Week. Had 1 to lead off the 7th and got the Gothic Knights going. He also had a run scored. Lennon Gomez, 2 RBIs. And he walked 3 times with 1 hit. 1 RBI by Joe Catino on the bases loaded walk to end the game, and Jeff Reinecke with an RBI as well. Meanwhile, for Ursinus, Usowski was the big player, 3 for 3 with 2 doubles in this game. Mummy had 2 RBIs. 10 hits for Ursinus, 6 hits for NJCU. The Gothic Knights will be back in action tomorrow. We will be in Lakeland, Florida. And the Gothic Knights will take on Gwendid Mercy. That's a 10:30 a.m. scheduled first pitch at Henley Field Ballpark. We'll be on the air at 10:25 a.m. And then they will close the trip on Wednesday at 9:15 when they take on Muskingum in Auburndale, Florida. We hope we can bring you that game. The internet was not so great there at Lake Myrtle Sports Complex yesterday, we found out. But the plan is we will do play-by-play and have live video for both of these final games and then for as many throughout the 2017 season. So your final score today, New Jersey City, 6 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Meanwhile, Ursinus, 5 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors. As the Gothic Knights talk this one over in right field, a happy recap as they are victorious today by a score of 6-5. NJCU has a couple of games ahead, try to end this trip on a 500 level overall. The softball team is 3-1. They won their game against Mount Mary 11-2 in 6 innings on a walk-off grand slam by Naomi Alacio. So the Gothic Knights, between the 2 teams, each win a game today. And the Gothic Knight baseball team back in action tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Special thanks to Ursinus baseball players Ben Kearns and Lou Akins, who handled the scoreboard for us today. We appreciate their assistance. And on behalf of everyone at NJCU Athletics, I'm Ira Thor. Thanks for watching today's broadcast of Gothic Knight Baseball here on Gothic Vision. We'll speak to you tomorrow morning at 10:25 a.m. as NJCU takes on Gwendid Mercy.